What's up, everybody? My name is Alex, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to this video. Quick introduction. I'm the owner of Outlaw Collectibles. If the background here doesn't give any indication, we're located out of Northeast Ohio. Good thing or bad thing, Browns, Guardians fan, and Pokemon fan. I've been doing this for a number of years, and I'm taking the opportunity now to get onto this platform and talk a little bit about a topic that's been pretty hot recently. Tag grading in general, the process. And I wanted to give a little bit of insight as somebody who's been around for a number of years. While we have been vending Pokemon for primarily full-time for primarily the last year or so, I have been inside this space for ever. I've been a player, I've been a collector, and now as a vendor and a grader and somebody that's an often user of the service, I think I'm going to give some pretty cool insight to what you see. And you see it in the thumbnail. So I would like to go through the process, unbox the first ever one that we've ever gotten, and talk about the good and the bad. So further piece of background, I've submitted with everybody, SGC, CGC, PSA. In fact, on the day of submission for Tag, I graded with 2 of those other companies as well. And let's not get any more background here. I think you got it. Let me show something off, because I think one thing that they crushed is this. So big it don't fit on the screen. Tag. I graded a single card. Spoiler alert, I graded this card as through a very unique service I think they have that I believe will be utilized or should be utilized more frequently, their authentication, their verified authentic service. But we'll get into that, the card, the why in a little bit. I'll tell you what, right off the bat, they absolutely crushed it from a presentation standpoint. Got this bad boy in. It is a pack. I'm sure you've all seen it. They gave me a cute little sticker, which is great, and a slab bag. So, hey, presentation, boys, heads up, 10 out of 10, you rock. But presentation is not everything. I'm going to set this thing up and talk a little bit about the actual process, because I think at the end of the day, that's where I had my only real big issues with the company in general. So, as mentioned, this is not my first rodeo with submitting to places. But this was the wildest ride, if you will. When you submit to a company, I'm going to use PSA because, as mentioned, I graded with CGC and PSA on the exact same day that I did this tag return. And there's some stark differences that I think create a little bit confusion and a little bit of worry in collectors, especially for you out there that have never graded before. So what do I mean? Well, the process is different. Normally with PSA, it's pretty simple. You pick your product, price range. Yeah, I'm going to grade this card regular. What card? It's a Gengar VMAX Alt-Art. And then you're going to pay for your shipping. You're going to get a label. You're going to get some inserts, pop those into a box, ship it on out. And then however long you agreed to, you're going to get that bad boy back. And it's going to be a 9, even though you swore to God it was the cleanest raw copy you've ever seen in your life. Maybe that's just me. But Tag is different. What they do is they give you the option to select your service level. Then they'll have you pay for it right up front. PSA. They do it later after the grading process. But hey, Tag's a small company. I don't care about that. They need capital up front. Cool with it. Then you are going to get an email confirmation. Take that email confirmation and go back to the site. Then insert the card that you're going to be grading. And then you get to a final screen and they say, hey, ship it here. So big piece, big issue point that I was like, all right, whatever. I don't think twice about this, but no integration with UPS or USPS or FedEx. FedEx is integrated through CGC and PSA. Not having that integration makes things a little difficult. Why? Well, because when I did submit this item, I submitted this item as a 5-day express. So one of their higher tier options available. And I spent money for a 2-day shipping. Well, when this was shipped, this whole process, little timeline, was paid for on the 3rd of March. And it was shipped on the 4th of March. But there was absolutely no communication. I have my FedEx shipping label that tells me that somebody has received this product. They got my box and my very expensive card that might be inside of said box. And nothing from them. So that's a little worrisome, especially for you guys out there. A lot of times when I talk to people about grading, they ask me about the process. They ask me if it's easy, if it's good, whatever, everything about it. The biggest worry people have is that shipping and receiving portion. They're sending off maybe their best card. We don't all just grade like mid-grade vintage, bulk, unlimited. They're great, good stuff, dude. So it makes it worrisome for the person to send it out. And this is what I'll say: I'm never worried. I trust the process. Here, I was the first time I was ever a little worried because it wasn't 2 days. They didn't say it was going to be there on the 8th or the 9th. No word. It was just arbitrarily somewhere. Maybe somebody has it. At which point, on the 18th, they finally notified me that it was received. And it was not notified via email or a good alert system. It's quite possible they have a better alert system that I was not utilizing. But it was notified because of my incessant checking on the website and just seeing, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Turns out they did. At which point, they were great after receiving. But big worry for me is the lack of integration with the shipping service and the lack of alerts throughout the process. That created a situation where we didn't really know where the card was. I didn't know what was happening. So it's worrisome. And if you guys, know that going in, that, hey, I got to just trust that process. It's going to be there. Great. But even for somebody like me who submitted with everybody, that was a little crazy. But I think they'll probably work on it. I don't want to nitpick. I just want to make it clear that lack of shipping integration, the lack of alerts, it can put you in a position where you'll be a little bit more on edge than you typically were. So with that aside, that's the process of the submission. Afterwards, I paid for 5-day and I paid for something that was authentic, verified. Now, why is that? Because I actually think this is a really unique thing. Tag as a company provides a pretty unique space inside of the hobby. They have a really cool gimmick. It's going to allow you to see all the flaws. Look, guys, if you've been around, you know about HGA. You know about these grading companies, fly by night that come and go, get a little bit of hype, and then they're out the door the next week. All that really matters is longevity in this industry and resale value. In truth, we're not necessarily. There is an aspect that is important. That's preservation. That's encapsulation. That's authentication. That's an objective third-party person saying that this object is this grade. It is this good. It takes yours and mine opinion out of the equation and allows for an intermediary between an arbiter that just says, hey, here you go. This is real. This is in good shape. And it's this, which is awesome and is very important in the resale portion of the hobby. So as we go forward, I don't necessarily know. There's been some comps on these cards that tag themselves, that certain tag groups or people that are real big proponents of it have posted and supported and shown really good sales. And that's awesome. I love that there's other options available, but I would counter by stating it's probably because they're very low pop and there might be a very small subset of people that are just getting in to wanting this. Because I talked about presentation earlier, and while I've seen one slab in hand. And it was at a show. Somebody walked it up to me, and it was I think it was a base set 2 tag 10 Comet. I want to say it might have been like a Kakuna or a Weedle. It was a very funny card to be graded. But presentation-wise, they did knock this out of the park. We talked about the things that I had a little worry with, things I think other people might be a little concerned with from their actual submission portion. But now I want to talk about my submission, why I chose this option, and what I think Tag might be able to do to provide to the hobby that I think is totally underutilized and it presents a really good opportunity for a lot of you guys out there to take advantage of. So, and we get to unbox it. So finally, enough of me talking. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Hopefully it was a little bit of good insight on the process. And let's get this bad boy going. So yeah, box, super awesome. And inside the box is a pack, which is super cute. Again, very cute. I love that they did this. I did just grade a singular card, which I believe is Pop 1. Probably. I can't imagine that they have other ones on their grading service. So I love that. This presentation-wise, absolutely knocking it out of the park. Let me get this thing opened over here. We should probably use one of these as a little cover. I want to do a little bit of a reveal, guys. I can't let you see all my secrets. Whoa. That's a nice pack, dog. It really bust out the scissors on this. 10 of 10 quality on your pack, guys. It is hard to open. It does look good. This is the best part about them, mind you, guys. I was a little nitpicky, but I do think it's coming from a good spot. but this is where they crush it. So let's take a look at the card and why I chose to do it. And as mentioned, it is a verified authentic slab. Why verified authentic? Well, I think it presents a really unique piece in the hobby that for vendors is great, for collectors is amazing. You should really take advantage of this. But what card is this? Well, first off, clarity on the slab is really cool. I'm not going to do the bend test, guys, on this thing. And it is hard to see. Oh, and it's also hard to read. Why? Because it's Japanese. But maybe it's starting to make a little more sense what this card is. Yes. I don't think there's other ones. I don't think we can slow roll that anymore. It's a Mario Pikachu. It is not the full art, but still a pretty damn good card. The Mario Pikachu. I got this card in a trade at a local show. And let me be completely transparent with you. This card, not in great shape. First off, looks great. I want to just get these thoughts out of the way. The clarity is good. The size feels good. All right, that's a little bit of force I'm putting on there. That's about as much as I want to do. To the good brother out there that had that bad order, that got all that publicity, I want to say I'm sorry. I think the build quality on these should normally be pretty good, and I don't have any concerns with it. Clarity sweet, looks great. I got this card in a trade, and I got to say, this card, while it may look amazing in this presentation, which is part of the reason why I did it, it's not in good shape. First off, you can probably see the edging at the top, a little bit of wear. Probably see a little mark down there. That's a little bit of ink towards the attack on the bottom, or some marking or something. Point being, this is like a PSA 3 or 4, maybe a 2. The reality of the situation, let me prop this bad boy up, is I wanted to utilize Tag for this capacity because the verified authentication service provides a really, really, really cool thing. What it does is it takes really cool, very rare, obscure cards like these, it encapsulates it, it protects it, it authenticates it, and it removes from the equation the conversation from a resale perspective of, oh yeah, but that's beat up. Or, oh, that card's awesome, but it's in a PSA 3. Trust me, I've heard all of these. The reality is this allows you to encapsulate, protect a great piece of art, card, history, one of the first one of the first Pikachu costume cards ever, incredibly rare box set. Not making any more of these bad boys. And it puts it in a presentable format. Like around me here, I've got a lot of cards. Most of the stuff I have on display is that's slabbed, whether it's in my sports section, whether it's in my big Pokemon section over here, it's slabs. It's hard to take a single card and put it on display and show people. It's easy to put a slab out. It looks good on that stand. And it does undoubtedly provide a better way to display it and authenticates the item and does a lot of the things that you don't have to now do, either as a vendor or as a collector. So one of the things I've been wanting to utilize for this service level, for this product type, is these kind of very rare, obscure, but damaged cards. Hurt, heavily played. What's going to look better to you? PSA 4 Gold Star Mewtwo or a verified, authentic copy of that Mewtwo? You don't have a dirty number 4 sitting in the corner on it. You have a authentic, you have something that presents well, something you could just look at this like the world's greatest one touch. And in a second, I'm going to show off another card that I'm going to be submitting as well, because I'm honestly very impressed with this. That was first time opening it, first time having it in hand. Giddy, it looks great. Displays really well. I'm probably going to keep this bad boy. I think it's awesome. And yes, I think that the verified authentication service by Tag is one. Now, the gimmick itself, Tag's baseline gimmick of the AI grading, the full transparency, is a gimmick that people in this hobby do seem to enjoy. The transparency aspect. My Gengar VMAX Ultart, I got a 9. I would love to know why, other than a 3-word response from grader's notes in a Super Express order. It would be nice to know that. But also, it's not the only thing that Tag does. And I think that these verified authentic slabs, think of the cards that you might have. Maybe you have an awesome Crystal Lugia. Maybe you have an awesome Shining Charizard, but it's a little beat. You might have it in the first page of a binder. You might have it in a one touch. You might just have it in a box somewhere. here's a way to display it, to get it cleaned up. And honestly, this does look very good. This card is, it's hard to tell on camera, but it is because of the case. I think it does a really good job of presenting it in the best possible way, authenticating it, verifying it, all that good stuff. It's honestly an underutilized thing. I think that more people should probably consider that as an option for the cards that fall into that category, whether you're a collector, vendor, or otherwise. And yeah, this was pretty cool. To all the naysayers, yes, I had my little nitpicky portion of this video here talking about the process, which is antiquated and admittedly a little worrisome. I do hope that they do integrate in the future shipping options to provide a little bit more peace of mind to their customers. And I'm sure that's coming. The capital component up front, that's a reality of a smaller company. Like at the end of the day, PSA back there, that's the daddy. It ain't going away. Fanatics, collectors, you guys are still going to be the king. But Tag, in my opinion, does have a place. And I think that this is the place that a lot of you guys should really consider. Look at those cards that you have that might fit into that category that would look a hell of a lot better, that would be a lot easier to transact or display, whatever your purposes are. As a vendor, as a seller, as a buyer, collector, this is something that I think you should use. And to finish this off, I had this card sitting here because, I was under the assumption like, hey, I'm either going to really enjoy how this looks and the presentation and whatnot, or I'm not, and it's going to be a very different video. But I did. So this was a card I had here because depending on the results of this grading and what this looked like, I was either going to send this or not. And I think we are. Now, this one's maybe not as crazy. It is a little less expensive, but it's a card that I pre-screened as probably like an 8. Maybe a 9 on a good day, realistically an 8. Not an incredibly expensive card or anything like that, but an awesome, cool, another poncho or costume Pikachu. I suppose he's wearing a poncho in there. A little bit of Mario costume, a little poncho action. But this card is one that I'm actually going to be planning to send out as well. And I'm going to have to rough it through the storms and the seas of the uncertainty of their process. That might be a little rickshaw-y. But I think at the end of the day, with the result like this, can't beat it. So I think going forward, hey, if you've got cool raw copies of some little beat up cards, need a little love, I think this is something that you could do. Make it a hell of a lot better to present. Looks awesome. I think I'm going to be taking advantage of it more in the future. And if you guys out there got any more of these bad boys, especially if you've had a little love, please send them my way. So again, hey, thank you for joining. Again, this is our first video. Hopefully this was fun, informative. I do plan on doing more things, vendor setups, little vlogs, news reactions. I don't really know. Just an opportunity to show off PSA unboxings, talk a little bit of the mindset behind why I do things, and hopefully give some insight as a vendor, a collector that's been doing this for, since base set, open and base set product. So again, this is Alex with Outlaw Collectibles. I want to say thank you for joining the video. If you like it, give us a comment, subscribe, let us know what you want to work on, what kind of content you want to see from us, and please give us a follow. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.